Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankara Acharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Mukti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Sri Medha Dakshina Murti Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste once again all of you. So we are seeing the law of karma, one of the most important topics of Sanatana Dharma, which we need to understand if we are in the spiritual path. If we choose the spiritual path, this law of karma is a very important topic and we need to understand in some detail. So we were seeing in the last class about how these karmas arise. They are the invisible results of visible actions. So karma in this context, we have to understand, we mean by the punya papa, not the action itself, but the invisible results of this action, which is punya or papa, depending upon whether the action is a dharmic action or a adharmic action. And these karmas in the scriptures, they are categorized into three types. They are Sanchitam karma, Prarabdham karma, and Agami karma. These are the three types of karmas. They are classified. We will see, I mean, the author himself defines all these things a little later, but I'm just giving you a overall view of this law of karma, so that when we come to the text, we can quickly understand the meaning of the words and then move on. So Sanchitam karma, as I told you, Sanchitam means accumulated. So the karmas, the punya papas, which have accumulated over previous so many births, and which was the balance in our account before our current birth, accumulated karma is called Sanchita karma. It is just like I gave the example of fixed deposit. Suppose you have made fixed deposits at various points in time throughout your working life. And all those fixed deposits will mature according to certain dates, what you have chosen at that time. Because in the case of karma, the choice is not ours, but just, I mean, no example is perfect, but this is the nearest example we can think of, fixed deposits in the bank. So all the fixed deposits which were there in our account, or it represents the Sanchitam karma, all the punya papas which were there in our account before this birth. And these have been accumulated over so many past births. Out of that set of accumulated karmas, a particular set of karmas get matured, and that matured karmas which are about to take effect are called prarabdha karmas. So prarabdha karmas are those karmas which have matured out of the Sanchitam bundle, the accumulated karmas, and which are now ready to give its results to this jiva. And based upon that karmas which are maturing for this current birth, the jiva will get a suitable body. Everything in this jiva will be determined by that prarabdham, set of prarabdha karma which are maturing or matured, you can say. This is prarabdha karma. The third one is if the jiva is born as a human being. Because karmas, punya papas are relevant only for a human birth. For an animal birth or a plant birth, there is no question of any karmas, any punya papas, because they don't have a free will. The karmas, punya papas come to us only because God has given us a free will. Ishvara has given us a free will, and he expects the human beings to use that free will to manage their life, to do various actions in a dharmic manner. And whenever the free will is used in an adharmic way, the God wants to give the result in a negative way, that you suffer the consequences of your own adharmic actions. So there is an incentive to do dharmic actions in the form of punya, and there is a disincentive to get or commit adharmic actions, which if we do, we will attract papa. So if we happen to take a human birth because of the set of prarabdha karmas which has matured at the time of our birth, then during this human birth, whatever punya papas we earn by doing various actions, they are called agami karmas. So these are the three types of karmas: sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, and agami karma. Prarabdha karma has already started at the time of birth. We can do nothing about prarabdha karma, because that is based upon our past actions, whatever we have done, the results of our past actions. It is like an arrow which is shot from a bow. It has gone. We can't stop the arrow. It will go and hit its target wherever it is. That is prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma, for our present discussion, we can say it cannot be changed, even though there are ways to manage the prarabdha karmas, which I will discuss later. So agami karmas are those which we earn during this birth through our actions or through the results of the actions. The punya papa created by our actions in this birth is called agami karma. So these are the three types of karmas we must understand, right? So what happens is, when the prarabdha karma, this set of prarabdha karma gets over, fully exhausted. Even in the case of agami karma, what happens? There are two situations. Certain agami karmas will mature immediately in this life itself. Then there will be another set of agami karmas which cannot mature in this life itself, because their incubation period is not over. So when that set of agami karmas which mature in this life and give us the results of those punya papas, along with the maturity or exhaustion of all the prarabdha karmas, when that happens, the body falls, the human being dies. So death is directly related to the exhaustion of karmas. First of all, prarabdha karmas, exhaustion complete. Then agami karmas, that portion of agami karmas which have already fructified in this birth, when that is exhausted, when these two things happen, the person dies. We cannot say how much time it will take. We cannot say in what form they will give results and all that. Broadly, we can understand punyam, that is dharmic karyam, dharmic actions will give punya and adharmic actions will give papa. So this, if we know the dharma, what is dharma? Dharma is nothing but the order of Ishvara, order of the nature. The cosmic order is dharma. If we do everything, all our action bearing in mind, what is this cosmic order? What is the dharma of Surya? Dharma of Surya is to give heat and light to this entire world. What is the dharma of rain? It is to give water to this entire world. It is to take the ocean water, becoming cloud, then pouring water down so that the entire jivas, they are able to survive. They are able to live. They are protected by that order of the rains. Similarly, if you look at each and every entity, what is the order of Agni? What is the order of Vayu? Each of the 5 elements you can see, and then elementals also you can see what is the order and understand. One basic lesson we have to learn is the entire nature, whether it is a tree or a plant, they always give. They don't take anything from us. The sun does not send us some sort of a electricity bill. I have given you so much energy and so much light. This is the bill for this month, please pay. Sun doesn't do that, isn't it? Only our electricity fellows run by human beings will do that. None of the natural resources, whether it is fruits in a tree or the streams of water flowing in a river, demand anything in return for what they are giving for the sustenance of the entire human or entire life in this planet, in this entire universe for that matter. When you look at that from that perspective, what is dharma? Dharma is nothing but the order. Now, if all your actions are in consonance with this philosophy, that I must not take anything, whatever I have got, I should only give without any expectation. All our actions we do nishkama karma. That means what? You are not doing anything, accumulating any papam in this life. So, this is how we have to understand this punya, papa and all that. They are very exotic words. And we normally get carried away with these words, punya, papa, karma and all that. But they're very, very practically, we have to understand it in this particular manner. And because the order is dharma, whatever action is done by us in consonance with that order is a punya karma. It is only the human beings which act against nature. If you look at the entire jivas, none of them act against, even animals, they don't hoard their food. They will hunt, eat and then sleep. God has given this free will to the human beings to learn from this nature and lead our lives according to the dharma. But unfortunately, what human beings have done to the nature itself, to the God's order itself, is what we are all witnessing today. And God will certainly, the order will punish us. As I told you in an earlier class also, Puja Swamiji's very famous example about the order. If there is a tree which bark is very rough, and you go and rub your back against that rough bark, it will hurt you because you are doing something against the order of nature. The rough bark is to protect that tree, not for you to go and rub your back. So you will get hurt, you will bleed. So whenever we do anything against the order of nature, the cosmic order or order of Ishvara, as we call the order of the totality, we will certainly get hurt. Whether it is now or later or whatever it is. And many times there is something called, of course, this is not the topic under discussion, called samashti karma. Samashti karma is if one person is doing something totally against the nature, when he is punished, he will not be punished alone. All those people around him also will get punished. It is like lightning falling on some place where all those things, including plants and all that, will all perish. Human beings, everybody who is there in the vicinity will perish. That's what when we see air crashes and all that, it is not that everybody had a bad karma. But some people might have had a karma which led to the crash, but other people, because of the samashti prarabdha, they were there at that time, so they also perished. So this is all the complications of this law of karma. So many aspects are there. It's very difficult to cover everything in this kind of talks. But I just give you a very broad outline. And for us to understand very practically what it all means for our day-to-day living. It's not something theoretical and then we forget it. We have to learn from these and then adopt our own living style, our own attitudes, our own life's philosophy to conform with this understanding. Okay. So prarabdha karma is fructifying sanchita karma, or the portion of sanchita karma which fructifies is called prarabdha karma. Right. In fact, it is this prarabdha karma which determines everything about a jiva. If it is a human body, what type of a body it will be? It is this prarabdha karma which decides whether it will be a male body or a female body, whether the body will be born with good health, or whether the body will have some congenital diseases. All these things are decided by the prarabdha karma. So it includes, in fact, it even determines the parentage. The prarabdha karma determines the parentage which a person will have. It determines the place where he will be born, the family into which he will be born. All these things are decided by prarabdha karma. And what are they? The results of our own actions of the past. We must always remember that. Prarabdha karma is not something that God is just determining, okay, this fellow, I will give him this prarabdha. No. God doesn't do anything. He just looks at your record and finds that these karmas are about to mature. So he will facilitate that karmas to mature in an appropriate manner so that the Ishvara's order is maintained. Because the karma is given by law. This order is Ishvara's order. The whole karma, this law of karma. So he ensures that that order is maintained by doing the appropriate things, what is to be done for the prarabdha karmas to mature in an appropriate manner with whatever results is there. Whether it's going to be born in a rich family, poor family, all those things. Whether he is going to be born in a poor family, but later on, using his own free will, he can become rich. That also is there. We have got so many stories like that. Isn't it? People who are born in a very, very poor, economically challenged families, but through their own efforts, their own using their free will, understanding how things happen, they have able to rise themselves, their levels up, and then they have become quite affluent in their life, both in terms of material benefits as well as spiritually also they have been able to uplift themselves. We've got so many examples. Okay. So that is why, when we have our certain experiences in this life, if we have worked for those experiences and we get the results, we can directly connect that I did this, I got the result. But sometimes we must have experienced that we get something for which we have not worked at all. It is something like, something comes to us, whether it is good or bad, either way. We have not worked for that at all. Suppose suddenly you find one day a lawyer walking into your house. And the lawyer comes and tells you, I have a very good news for you. What is that? Mr. So and so, I don't know how he is related to you. Very rich man, multi-millionaire or billionaire. He has passed away and he has left a will. And in that will, he has left something like $5 million for you. Right? Now you are wondering, who is this person? I don't even know his name. I have never seen this guy. But he has left me $5 million. Something we got without our working for it. That is what prarabdha karma. You can see the action of prarabdha karma in that. You have not done anything to get that in this janma, but you must have certainly done something in the past janma that person somehow was related to you, and that person in this janma felt like writing a will and giving you this big bounty. When we see this, it is prarabdha karma which is active. Another example, a person who has led a very, very pure life, never did anything, no bad habits, no smoking, no drinking, no chewing of tobacco, nothing he has done. Pure life he has had in a very nice environment also. I mean, right from childhood, he has been in very fresh air, no pollution, nothing. He gets cancer. Everybody will say, oh, he is such a guy, how he got cancer. We look for answers. Prarabdha karma is acting. He has got cancer in this janma, not because of what he did or he did not do in this janma. He has got cancer because of the result of some past janma, past karmas. And this is exactly what Ramana Maharshi told people. Ramana Maharshi at a very young age, he went to Tiruvannamalai and he was there throughout. There is no question of any polluted air. I mean, his food was very sattvic. He was sort of, right from his childhood, he was spiritually inclined. And that's why he went and, settled down there in Tiruvannamalai. He got cancer. So how do you account for that? Prarabdha karma. So many times when we come across certain experiences in our life for which we have not done anything in this life, we can understand that this is the effect of the prarabdha karma which we are either enjoying or suffering. I don't remember what I did in the past life, but that record is all there within me only in the Karana Sharira. It's all recorded. All Punya Papas are all there. I can't read that because I don't know how to read it. But there is somebody who can read. Ishvara can read that and then give the results according to the whatever is the prarabdhas which are maturing. Okay. So this is how the prarabdha karma works. And as I said, agami karma is a freshly augmented punya papam. Some of it will be maybe sort of exhausted in this janma itself. And all those agami karmas which are not exhausted at the time of death, they go and join the sanchita karma bundle. So what happens after death? The sanchita karma bundle expands. Expands in the sense, from the time of the birth to the time of death, whatever agami karmas you have done, agami punya papas you have earned, minus the agami punya papas exhausted in this birth, will get added to the sanchita karma bundle. And for the next birth, that will be the sanchita karma accumulated bundle of karmas, out of which one more set of prarabdhas will mature. And then that set of prarabdhas will determine what is going to be the type of next life that we are going to get. And this continues. Only thing what happens is, suppose because of the prarabdha, a jiva gets an animal life, right? What will happen? It will exhaust the prarabdha in the animal life, but it will not accumulate any agami karma. So, for it, at the end of what was at the time of birth, sanchita karma minus this prarabdha karma will be carried forward to the next, next birth. It may again be born as a human being and do everything again, earn punya papa again, like that. Whether it is animal or it is it's a plant or a tree or whatever it is, all the jivas, all living beings. This is how the whole karma cycle takes place. And another aspect of this karmas is we have to understand, as I told you, this karmas, punya papas, they rise because of our use of free will to do our actions. This you must remember. God gave us the free will. We can choose to do, not to do, or do it differently. Anything that is to be done. That's the free will. We choose either to do it the way it should be done, or to do it not the way it should be done, or do it some other way differently. That is what gives rise to punya papa. Now, that is why children, born children up to a certain age, like 4 years, 5 years and all, they don't have any punya papa. Their actions do not lead to any punya papa, because those actions are more or like animalistic, in the sense they are programmed actions. When a small child kicks the parents, kicks it in the womb also, the mother, or after it is born, many children, they will kick and all that. They will not get any papam because of that, because their ego has not yet developed. So up to a particular age, say 4 years, 5 years and all. And that's why we always say in our culture, children up to 5 years are like God. They are Ishwara. They will not get any punya papa. Only when the ego starts developing and when you start doing actions using your free will, this punya papa things comes into the picture. This we must understand, very carefully. So those children till about 5 years or so are like animals only. They don't have ego, so they don't have any punya papa. But over a period of time, they will also get into the rut and earn all the punya papas, which we are all earning now because of our use of our free will. So these are the three types of karmas: sanchita, prarabdha, agami, and what happens to unmatured agami, unfructified agami at the time of death, that gets added to the sanchita karma bundle. And then for the next birth is determined based upon the set of karmas which are maturing, and then punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. That is what our shastras say. This cycle of births and deaths and births and deaths keeps on going. It has been going on for, we don't know how many crores of years. And it will go on for another crores of years. Right? With all our sufferings and happy moments, sad moments, with all our, 6 shad vikaras, what we talked about, Jayate, then what that? Jayate, Vardati, Viparinamate, then Apakshiyate, Vinashyati. All these old age, Jara, Dukkam, all these, every Janma, we will continue to suffer and keep on looking for solutions. What is that I should do to avoid all these things? So that's why scriptures say that if you want to escape this rebirth, but being born again, there's only one way. And that way is get this self-knowledge, get this tattva bodha, real knowledge of yourself. And assimilate that knowledge and abide in that knowledge. It's not merely theoretical knowledge that you gather, but you need to abide in that knowledge. If you abide in that knowledge, what happens? All your actions will be dharmic actions. All your actions which you do, will be in conformity with the cosmic order. And once you become more and more, what I would say, more and more nearer to the cosmic order, eventually you will become the cosmic order itself. Once you become the cosmic order, then there is no more karma for you, no more rebirth for you. That is what we call aikyam. We saw Jiva Ishwara aikyam is what? Merger of individuality with the totality. How can that happen? That can happen only by your actually behaving, or I can say that conducting all your actions in conformity with the cosmic order, in conformity with the order of totality. So you understand what is Ishvara, you understand how Ishvara is, this order is functioning, and then you put your entire life in that particular framework of that order. That is what, Jiva, Ishvara, Aikyam and all is not something literally we should take. It is become, one Jiva becomes one with Ishvara and all very good for Purana kind of levels. When we have come to the level of Vedanta, Upanishads and all that, we must understand it objectively, what it all means. And 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, this is what Krishna keeps on talking. Whatever you do, he is actually telling Arjuna, go and fight and kill these people. That is part of the cosmic order. So killing is not against the cosmic order. Killing is part of cosmic order, because that is one of the three functions of creation, sustenance and destroyer. And then he says that nobody is actually killed. It is only from manifest to unmanifest they go. There is no death as such, nothing called death. And this has been going on for time immemorial or beginningless times. So Arjuna, don't worry that you are thinking that you are killing Bhishma, Drona and all that. You are not doing that. So that is what, the whole Bhagavad Gita is about. This is talking about all this. And that is why, he even goes and demonstrates this through the Vishwarupa Darshanam which he gives to Arjuna. And that Vishwarupa Darshanam, nothing but the cosmic order. What is this cosmic order? What is this dharma of the cosmos? So this is what how we need to understand all this law of karma and all that. This is the context in which we need to understand. And that is how it is going to help us in our spiritual path. Merely having theoretical knowledge and talking about is all fine. But this is how we have to imbibe this knowledge, internalize this knowledge. Okay. So all these Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma and Agami karma and all what we have talked about, they are all meant for a Ajnani, a person who is not a Jnani. Because here we need to understand this law of karma operates differently for a Jnani and a Ajnani. This much we must clearly understand. So all this rebirth, what we talked about, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam and all is all meant for a Jnani. Sorry, for a Ajnani. Okay. What happens for a Jnani? For a Jnani, at the time of fall of this body, or in fact not even at the time, at the time of his gaining the Jnanam, that knowledge, and he starts abiding in that self-knowledge, knowledge of the self, all these karmas are exhausted, finished. Account becomes zero. It is as if that Jnani has taken a fresh birth. The cutoff time is Jnana. So all the karmas Sanchita karma finished. Agami karma, whatever he has earned, punya papa in this life, finished. But prarabdha karma continues. Because prarabdha karma, as I told you, is something which has already started at the time of birth of a jnani. At the time of birth, a jnani was an ajnani only. Otherwise, he would not have been born. If he was a jnani, he would not have been born. So anybody who is born as a ajnani only. So the prarabdha karma has already started at the time of birth, and it has to exhaust its course, whether the person is a jnani or a ajnani. So for a jnani, what happens is that at the time of his gaining this jnanam, the agami karma earned till the time of jnanam and the entire bundle of sanchita karma, they become zeroized. They become nil, account is closed. Then, of course, the order explains that after the jnanam, whatever action he does, the Jivan Mukta does, his agami karma account, is opened, and those punya papas are added to that account. Whatever he does, because the prarabdha is still there, the body is still there. Even though the jnani has disassociated himself from his body, mind, sense complex, but the body and his sense complex and all are continuing to do actions. It's a different matter that a jnani normally will not do anything which will be a papa karma. Because his jnanam has told that all these things are mithya, so there is no point in doing any papa karma. He will have compassion and love and all that. But this is a sort of a poetic way of saying that his agami karma is not finished. A fresh set of agami karmas, after jnanam, post jnanam agami karmas, he will accumulate. But the question will be, what happens to that agami karma at the time of death? Will it not get converted into sanchita karma? That question will come. We will see what is the answer that the author gives for that question. Interesting question. Okay. So that is what the author is saying. He, in the previous sentence which we saw, he had used the word karma. That is how we got into this topic of law of karma, isn't it? So the student is asking, the student is asking how many types of karmas are there. So the teacher is answering, karmani katividani santi iti chet. If that is asked, how many types of karmas are there? Agami sanchita prarabdha bhedena trividani santi. There are of three types, trividhani santi. The karmas are of three types, categorized as bhedena, categorized as agami, sanchita, and prarabdha, which I have explained to you. Okay, we don't need to see each and every word. This is what it's mean. So again, we must remember karma means here we are talking about punya papa, right? Punya adrishta punya phalam and adrishta papa phalam. That is what it is. So trividhani santi, three types. Then he continues. He says jnanotpatti anantaram jnani dehakritam punya papa rupam karma yad asti tad agami ityabhidhiyate. So as I just now told you, after jnanotpatti anantaram, anantaram means after, jnana utpatti, after the knowledge has arisen in that person, punya papam rupam karma, in the form of punya papa, jnani dehakritam, which has been done by the body of the jnani, not by jnani himself. See, he uses the word dehakritam very, very nicely. Jnani dehakritam, those karmas done by the body of the jnani, that is called agami karma for a jnani. So all his past account is completely closed, but a new account, only agami karma account is opened, so that by chance that jnani, does anything wrong, that will be a papa because it has been done by his deha. As such, he will not do as I told you, because he can become a jnani only when he has surrendered his free will to Ishvara, to the cosmic order. Only when he has diluted his ego completely, that person is a jnani. So when you don't have an ego, when you have completely neutralized your free will, surrendered your free will, where is the question of any karma, punya karma or papa karma? But still, assuming, what they say, to be on the safe side, they say, okay, if the jnani does any such thing, then there will be a agami karma, punya and papa will get into his account. But we have to remember, he is still a jnani. Because of that, he has not become a jnani. Because as Swami Chinmayananda says, this jnanam is a one-way path. Once you have traveled and become a jnani, you cannot become a jnani again. Right? Once knowledge is there, how can you lose that knowledge? Can you become ignorant after getting the knowledge? Not possible, right? So anyhow, we will see what happens to this agami karma of a jnani in a short while, right? So for a jnani, agami karma starts from his birth. For a jnani, as an ajnani, also agami karma starts from his birth and continues. The time he gets jnanam, that past agami karmas from birth to time of jnanam is exhausted, is completely nullified, it is made zero. In fact, Adi Shankara, in one of the commentaries, I don't remember which Upanishad, he says, for a jnani, these karmas are actually, they are, the example he gives is, they are roasted like the seeds, right? Which means what? When you roast a seed, it cannot sprout again. So Adi Shankara says all these past karmas, which are seeds for this future birth, they get roasted because of this jnana. So the moment they get roasted, it can't sprout again, rather. That's what the beautiful example Adi Shankara gives. So for a jnani, that agami karma finishes, but a new agami account gets opened. Okay. So for a ajnani, agami karma starts from birth to his death. For a jnani, his agami karma starts from the time of his jnanam, it runs to his fall of the body. Or as we say in the terminology, till he attains samadhi, rather. Okay. Samadhi means merging with totality. So jnanotpatti anantaram. Anantaram, as I told you, is after. So all that I have explained. Then he goes on explaining sanchita karma kim. Okay. So author is, because the student is asking now what is sanchita karma. I have already dealt with all this, so I won't go and repeat everything again. He says ananta koti janmanam bija bhutam sat yat karma jatam purvarjitam tishtati tat sanchitam nyayam. Nyayam means may you know, may you understand. What? Ananta koti janmanam, endless crores of births. We don't even know when it started. Bija bhutam sat, being of the nature of a seed. Bija bhutam. These karmas, sanchita karmas, are like seeds. Yat karma jatam, which has been given rise to because of the karmas of the past, which are born out of the karmas done in the past, purvarjitam, in the past, tishtati, which are there, accumulated, that is called sanchita karma, right? So I have explained to you the meaning of what the sanchita karma is. So it is the cause or the seed for innumerable or countless crores of future births. As we have come through crores of past births, there will be crores of future births also, and that sanchita karma is the seed, the bundle of sanchita karma. So even a jnani, as I said, has had past janmas. That is why in this janma he is born, rather. So that was there for him. Okay. So then author next defines prarabdham. Prarabdham karma kimiti chet. If it is asked what is prarabdha karma, he says, idam sharira mutpadya iha loke eva sukha dukkhadi pradam yat karma tat prarabdham bhogena nashtam bhavati prarabdha karmana bhogadeva kshaya iti. So what he is saying is, prarabdham we have seen is a part, matured part of the sanchita karma bundle. So he says, for the birth of this particular type of body in this world, ihaloke, sukha dukkhadi pradam, that which gives us happy experiences and also miserable experiences, sukham and dukkham, which gives, pradam means which gives, that is called prarabdha karma. So prarabdha karma is simply those set of punya papas which are responsible for this birth in this particular place and which are the cause for giving us all, good experiences and bad experiences in our life. They are all driven by the prarabdha karma. Then he says, bhogena nashtam bhavati. By experiencing only they will get exhausted. Prarabdha karma cannot get carried forward. Prarabdha karma has to be exhausted in this life itself. Because it is like an arrow gone from a bow. It has to go and hit a target somewhere. It cannot be put back into the quiver. So prarabdha karma has to be exhausted. Then he actually emphasizes this point. He says, prarabdha karmanam bhogad eva chaya iti. Chaya means they are finished, right? Bhogad eva, only by experiencing you can get rid of prarabdha karmas. So if you have any doubt that I can by chance, bribing Ishvara, postpone some prarabdha karmas to the next janma and all, not possible. It may be possible for driving license fines, rather, but not for prarabdha karma. You have to experience the prarabdha karma. And actually, if we observe life of people very closely, somebody, is being leading a very good life, very healthy life. Suddenly that person, comes. I mean, I can tell you my own my own father-in-law. He was, working in Pune University. He was a head of chemistry department. He is a PhD. He has made so many chemistry. His students are all professors and all in leading places. Very disciplined man. Very, value-driven man. Great believer on Mahatma Gandhi's principles and all that. Very simple living style. Everything. Suddenly, when he was about 78, 80, he got afflicted with Parkinson's disease. And the last 10 years of his life, he passed away a couple of years ago, last 10 years of his life, such a miserable life. You will wonder what exactly went wrong. This guy through 80 years has led such a wonderful life. No bad habit. Very brilliant person. In fact, his students who are now overseas and all that, they were in touch with him rather. It's not that students studied and went away. He was such a revered teacher for those PhD students that he taught. But last 10 years, I have seen myself such a miserable life with this Parkinson's disease worsening every day. A stage came when he could not even eat, because all the muscles in the throat and all become stiff. Food will not go in. How can you account for this? Prarabdham only. Nothing else can account for this. Whatever science can say, science cannot explain this. It is prarabdha. They may say, no, it is genetic and all that. But from where the genetic, this thing came? How that genetic code was formed for this to happen at that 80-year-old ripe old age? Prarabdha. So this is how we have to understand this karma theory. So prarabdham has to be exhausted. There is no way we can escape the prarabdha. But what we must understand is, whenever we are talking about karma, fructifying and all that, it only means that our past actions are presenting us with a certain situation, a certain happy situation or a certain unhappy situation, a situation which can lead to unhappiness. They are presenting this, these two things are presented to us. How we respond to those situations using our free will, we can change. We cannot change the prarabdha, but we can actually manage the prarabdha in terms of how we actually undergo the suffering or not. That is still in our hands. We may not be able to change what the prarabdha presents us with the situations, but how to manage those situations, how to respond to those situations, how we have to take those situations and continue living, that free will is still with us. We can do that. And because a jnani no longer requires that, that is why he surrenders his free will. He understands that whatever is there, I will suffer. It's okay, no problem. After all, I am not suffering because I am Sachidananda. What is suffering? This body-mind complex in which I am staying. It is like a jnani who is suffering staying in one of those dilapidated buildings in Bombay, which when heavy rains come, they may fall. So jnani knows it is not, I am only staying here. It's an old building. Let it be, let it go till the building lasts. I will continue to stay. If the building falls and this body is gone, I have no problem because I am not this body-mind complex. This is the jnanam of the jnani. So he doesn't get affected by this. And we have seen many jnanis have gone through all sorts of physical pains and physical hardships and health problems, everything. But the way they have reacted, it is totally different than what you and me will react. So this is the thing we have to understand about prarabdham. When we say that, you know, it has to be exhausted, but it can be managed. Its effect on us can be managed. So this is how one of the ways that we can manage. Okay. Well, there's a general misconception about most people that all these things are determined by God. When we actually undergo a lot of sufferings and all that, why God is doing this to me and all that, and then I will stop going to the temple from tomorrow. As if the God resides only in the temple. Hey man, everywhere you are there, the God is there. He is all pervasive. So by you are not going to the temple, God is not going to spare you, rather. Right? But this is a lot of misconceptions people have. Because they don't have this jnanam. What exactly all this is about, how law of karma, they don't know that Iswara, what you are suffering today is the action of your past actions. You must have done something in your past births, which is giving you this result now, and which past birth also we don't know. Certain karmas will take, many births to mature rather. As I gave you the example of, this papaya seed and coconut seed, some seeds will take long time to, sprout and mature. So that is what he says. So ihaloke yat sukha dukkha pradham. I explained you all those words. So whatever work we do for pleasure in this birth will become agami. Obviously, nobody will work for pain. Nobody will say, I am doing this so that it brings me a lot of misery and all. Nobody is going to do that. We all always are looking for something to gain happiness. We all work for pleasure only, isn't it? But in that process, whether we are doing that work dharmically, adharmically, is what will determine whether whatever you are doing for your own happiness, is, giving rise to punyam or papam. Okay. So this is the definition of prarabdha karma and agami karma. Okay. And as I said, this prarabdha karma is same for the jnani and ajnani alike. They will both will have to exhaust the prarabdha karma. So when it comes to the sanchitam karma and agami karma, I told you there is a difference between a jnani and ajnani. For a ajnani, this runs throughout his life till the body falls. For a jnani, this gets exhausted at the time of his jnana. So even though a jnani's body is under the influence of prarabdha, so a jnani may live long time or a short life he may have, depending on the prarabdha. He may have a healthy body or a sick body. He may have an initially healthy body, later on develop a sick body. He may be having a very sick body, but because of prarabdha, he becomes very healthy again. All these possibilities are there. Okay. So even a jnani cannot escape this law of karma, especially prarabdha karma. But the only thing is, as I told, he does not identify with his body, mind, sense complex. So the response of a jnani to all these effect of this prarabdha karmas will be different as compared to an ajnani response. So he knows that he is shariratrayam vyatiriktaha. These three things, I am not these three things. In fact, they don't even belong to me. Because nothing can belong to me. I am Sachidananda Swarupa, I am Asanga. I don't have any attachment with anything. By my nature, I am pure consciousness, pure existence, and limitless. I'm not attached like the light of the sun. Even though it falls on everybody, it is nothing taints that light of the sun. We saw that example. Akasha and Prakasha example we saw. So, like that, a jnani understands, so his response to these things will be different. That's all. To the prarabdha karma, whatever prarabdha karma brings. So, jnani understands this is a dress I am wearing. I, the Sachidananda Swarupa, needs a body to interact with this world. So, I have taken this body because of the prarabdha karma. It's like a dress I am wearing, and when that prarabdha karma is over, when the dress gets completely torn, I will change that. I won't change the dress. Jnani will think I will now finish. I mean, no more dress for me. I will remain in my original form, Sachidananda Swarupa. That's what he says. Okay. So he doesn't react to the prarabdha anubhava. So again, that's why for ajnani, it is prarabdha karma goes away only with exhaustion of or experiencing all the results of the karma. Then with reference to the sanchita karma, he says, we got a couple of more minutes. Just let me see how much I can go. Sanchitam karma brahma eva ahamiti nischayatma jnanena nashyati. Again, he is talking about the jnani sanchita karma. He says, nischayatmaka jnanena, by gaining this knowledge with total conviction, doubtless knowledge. What knowledge? Brahma eva aham iti. I am one Brahma alone, Brahman alone. I am Sachidananda Swarupaha. Shivoham, Shivoham. He knows, convinced about that. When that jnanam comes, that aham brahmasmi jnanam comes, sanchitam karma nashyati. So all the sanchita karmas are destroyed. So what we have to know, at the time of this jnanam, this doubtless jnanam, the jnanam in which the jnani is going to abide in, at that time, whatever agami karma was accumulated in this birth, that also get credited to the sanchita karma account, and the whole sanchita karma account is closed. The balance is transferred out of this account. So at the time of Jnanam, Jnani does not have any past Sanchita karma, zero balance. And also his current birth Agami karma till the time of Jnanam also is not there. What is surviving for a Jnani is his prarabdha karma for the remaining period of his life, and also the Agami karma, which he will be the result of his actions after the Jnana. What happens to those, we will see in the next class. Okay, I will stop here and then we can have a satsang if there are questions. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Guruji.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yes.
Guruji, Rajgopal here.
Yeah.
To escape from the prarabdha karma, Ajnani commits suicide. How is explained? Is it because of the prarabdha karma he commits suicide, or the unresolved portion of the prarabdha karma of this janma will continue in the next janma?
See, the prarabdha karma presents him with the situation which is unpalatable to him, which he cannot stand.
Correct.
Using his free will, he decides to take his life.
Right.
That adds to his papa karma. Because whether you take your life or somebody else's life, it is a papa karma only. In fact, it's a very great papam taking somebody's life. So, using his free will, he has chosen to commit suicide. So, what will happen is, his karmas will end there, but the last karma which he has done will add to his sanchita karma. And he will give the result, he will get the result of it in future months. That is how we have to interpret these suicide cases and all that. So, if your question is, was that prarabdha karma also ending at that time? Yes, the prarabdha karma was ending at that time.
No, as per the prarabdha karma, he was supposed to commit suicide, or
no. Prarabdha karma does not ask anybody to commit suicide. Prarabdha karma presents you with a situation in which you can use your free will to either commit suicide or continue living on.
Correct.
Okay. So shortcut, you are actually axing the prarabdha karma, where we don't know what is the prarabdha karma's life was. Nobody knows that. So you can say that the prarabdha karma ends there because of this voluntary action on the part of that person, where the prarabdha karma is put an end to. But that does not mean what will happen. Suppose, let us assume a situation that he had got 10 units of prarabdha karma, which had punya and papa. By the time he is presented in this situation of committing suicide, 6 units of prarabdha karma are exhausted. And this fellow commits suicide, because of which the body no longer is there for exhaustion of the remaining 4 units of the prarabdha karma. Correct? What will happen? That 4 units of prarabdha karma will go back and join the sanchita karma bundle, and then he will again have to suffer that. He can't escape that in any case. Overall situation, nobody can escape. In fact, one more additional papa karma gets added to the sanchita karma because of the suicide. That's all. So this karma thing will continue.
Excuse me, Raghuji, can I ask you a question?
Please.
Only the human birth, claiming your Swarupa is possible only in human birth, right?
Yes.
Do I understand? Correct. Okay. So if we don't make use of it, we are finished. That is, who knows what's going to happen next. My question is, we take innumerable birds like a mosquito, whatever forms of animals. So is it endless before? And you said they don't have karma like Papa Punya because they don't have free will. I get that. But for them to take another human birth to claim the Swarupa, what is it? Is it because of the previous?
If it is there in the Sanchita Karma balance,
Uh-huh.
a human birth, because see, how do we get the human birth? You must understand that. A certain balance between the Papa Karma and Punya Karma have to come together, mature together to give the human birth.
Okay.
Okay. So if the maturing karmas in terms of Punyam and Papam, the proportion of Papa Karma is high as compared to the Punya Karmas. What will happen? You will either be born as an animal or a mosquito or a plant. So many, other than human birth, any other birth you can take. But in that also, you can have certain punyas, isn't it? Because you can be, if you are born as a dog, you can be born, you are born as a dog because of Papa Karma, the predominance of Papa Karma in your prarabdha. But because there is an element of Punya Karma, you will be a dog in some film actor's place. You will be traveling in air condition. You will be getting all foreign biscuits and all that. Whereas a human being is sitting in the roadside, he won't have any cup of tea. So you will be a royal dog. Huh? You will have, dog parties and all will be held. You will be vaccinated every time, every regularly and all that, very perfect health. People around you will love you. They will hug you. Some of them even take you to the bed and sleep with you. Such a, like a child, they will treat you. So this can be there. So that Punya portion, even though the birth itself was determined by predominance of Papa Karma, if the Punya Karma is there, that birth can be a good birth rather, as compared to a street dog which has to scavenge for its food.
So one has to wait for innumerable number of birds or whatever.
That's it. You don't know. Exactly. You have to wait. There is no guarantee that after this birth, we are going to be born a human being again. No guarantee whatsoever. That is why what Vedanta says, don't take a chance at all. Get self-knowledge and finish all these karmas and get out of it.
Yeah, claim it now. Claim the Swarupa now.
Because in this human birth, only you can do it. No other birth you can do.
Yes.
That's what the Vedanta is saying. He says that if you have not used this human birth for doing this, you have wasted one birth. And you don't know when again you are going to get this chance. Impossible. So that is what the Upanishads say, that please go ahead and do it. Use this birth in a way for you to understand all these things, get this jnanam, get rid of it. In fact, Bhagavan Krishna gives one concession also in Gita to Arjuna. He says that even if you have used this human birth to start on the spiritual path, even if your body falls, your next birth will be a human birth because it will continue. You will continue from where you left off. So that also gives you a clue that if you want to ensure your next birth to be a human birth and you want to continue in the spiritual path, better move as much as possible in this birth itself. You may not become a jnani in this birth, but you will have enough jnanam to give you the next birth in the human form, where you can continue this and then attain the jnani status. So this is a clue which is there in Bhagavad Gita. So if we all take it seriously and then pursue it, then we don't need to worry about being born as a dog or a cat or whatever it is.
No, I'm not. I just had a curiosity. That's all. Thank you very much. I just wondering. Yeah. Thank you so much for the clarity.
Yeah. Thanks. Yes, Sitaram, you have a question.
You say prarabdha karma determines the family where you are born and the parentage and various things. There are many rags to riches story, like you said. But not all children born poor have the free will to improve their situation. The very fact that somebody has prompted me to better my life, prompted many or such people, is also a karma, isn't it?
Yes, it is also a karma. See, as I told you, this karma presents you with situations. And free will, whether we use it or misuse it or don't use it, is our choice.
No, that's where I feel differently. The choice also is also dictated by the prarabdha karma. Not everybody has a free will.
No. Why? Why should prarabdha karma determine the choice? I can make the choice what I want to do at any point in time. Isn't it? I am presented with a situation. Why should prarabdha karma? That's why it's a kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyatha kartum shakyam. That is what is free will is all about. You can do it in a particular way, you can do it differently, or you can just not do it also. Akartum shakyam, you can not do it also. So that free will, nobody can take away, whether he is poor, rich, or whatever it is. So that way, free will doesn't get into the prarabdha at all. Prarabdha is only presenting a situation. Okay, this guy has been born in a very poor family. What is he going to do with that? Does he have a ambition or a goal that I want to raise my economic status? Right? If he has, because the problem with 90% of the people is, even all of us, we don't have a goal in our life. We just use the free will, just left, right, and center without even thinking that we are taking an action using our free will. And then when things go wrong, we are blaming other, God, this fellow is responsible. I will deal with this in the next talks, What are the corollaries of this law of karma? We will study that. What do we learn out of this law of karma for our practical day-to-day experiences? We will discuss that in the next class. So if you say that the free will also is dictated by karma, I will not accept that. Free will is free will, it's totally protected. It is your choice that you make. Prarabdha karma may present you with very difficult choices. That is okay. It may give you a choice where you are so poor that you are not able to go to school. You don't have money to buy books. Everything is there. I have seen people. I have actually seen such people who had suffered economically, but using their free will, their efforts, their positive response to all these difficulties, they have risen up in their life. Irrespective of what their parents were, these people have really made a mark and they have contributed to the welfare. They have contributed to the maintenance of the cosmic order. One way, if I have to go and say, they have contributed to the maintenance, understanding of the cosmic order and maintenance of this cosmic order. I know of cases.
There are so many who have become IAS officers.
Yes, so many have become IAS officers. A rickshawala's daughter, you see,
Yes.
topped IAS or become an IAS officer. Why? Using free will. They have said, okay, this is my prarabdha. I am born with this disability. That does not mean I have to live with this disability. I will use my free will and raise my level up. That is what is free will is also. Free will is all about.
Guruji, extension of Sitaraman's argument, to get a Advaita Guru and Dvaita Guru, how do you treat? Because in my life, I had a chance of going to Advaita Guru, but fortunately, I had a chance of going to a Dvaita Guru, but fortunately I came to a Advaita Guru. Subsequently only I knew these are the things in Advaita philosophy.
See, the route to Advaita is to Dvaitam only.
Yeah.
So that's all being built. When you got a Dvaita Guru, that was also meant for you to go to a Dvaita Guru. When you come to Advaita Guru, that also was meant for you to get a Advaita Guru. But the point is not getting a guru. Point is in you are using the free will to accept that person as your guru. How many people get an opportunity to get a guru? I am telling you my own experience. We were 60 odd people when our course started in Arsa Vidya Gurukulam. Under Puja Swamiji, we were 60 odd people. When it ended, how many were there? We were 40 people. 1/3 of that class had left and gone during the course of the 3 years. What does it mean? Everybody got the opportunity to get a guru, get admitted to the course, and then pursue the course and all that. Somewhere along the line, they became weak in their free will to continue. Because studying in an ashram, and that too, with very frugal kind of a lifestyle, very frugal. Everything is measured. The food you eat is measured. You can't get whatever you want. The type of food you get is same every day. You can't say, no, I want pizza today, I want that today. No, you can't say anything. You have to do physical work in the ashram. You have to clean up the places. Even if need be, you have to go and clean toilets there. You are supposed to do all that. How many people can, accept that and then continue? That is what it is. So you use your free will to choose not to go pursue. You leave and go.
I don't know whether I can ask one question.
Yes.
You see, it is like this. I mean, right? Is it possible that the law of karma, the rebirth, the reincarnation, everything has been formed in ancient times so that people lead a dharmic life and they don't do adharmic things? Now, for example, we have rules and regulations. For example, we have police force, this, that, and everything to see that we don't do any adharmic items. In principle, we should not be. I mean, as a normal individual, we follow the rules. And is it possible that these things? I read somewhere. That's why I'm asking you. I read somewhere that in the ancient times, when they were all staying in, in unorganized areas, in forests, and things like that, when the life expectancy, everything was very low, there were so many problems, and staying with the animals and all that, wild animals and all that, that those days, such law of karma and that in case you don't follow the correct dharma, you will be reborn as a as an animal or something like that was formed. I don't know how far it is true because I read it somewhere in some book. That's why I'm asking.
When do you think all this started?
Time immemorial.
Then, not time immemorial. Time immemorial means you are not able to remember, but there was a time when it started. It is called beginningless times.
Beginning of time.
And what you are saying is only focused on human beings, human behavior. But the order which we are talking about, the cosmic order, does not mean is only meant for human beings. It is meant for the entire universe. All the things that are there in the universe, whether they are animate or inanimate, they all form. A planet is there. Planet is for a scientist a piece of rock. But for a Vedanta, a planet is a griham. It is a house which has got a certain value in our system and which moves around a particular, a sun or whatever it is, in a pattern which has been there, the same pattern from beginningless times. That is the dharma of that planet. Okay. So what I'm saying is that if we look at it human-centric way, we can come up with all these kinds of doubts and all that about this and give theories that this was done by humans for their own civilized behavior, for some people to control others and all that. That is all these kind of ideas are emanating from total ignorance of what cosmos is all about. If we understand cosmos is all about, it is the only entity in the entire cosmos, the human beings, they dare to go against the cosmic order. no other living or non-living being goes against the cosmic order. And unfortunately, this human being has been given this free will. Because if God, Ishvara, decided that I have to maintain this cosmos created by me, the only people who can do it is these human beings. They can only
destroying it.
take care of, they can only take care of the maintenance of this entire cosmic order.
And they are destroying it, and
And they are destroying it because
with
you, the same
global
free will is
warming,
there.
and they
We
even
can
say
use
that
your
within
free
100
will.
years,
We
100 to
can use
200
our
years,
free will to maintain
human beings cannot
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the problem. So if we are looking at it from you only human centric, then what you are saying, some theory, somebody must have dreamt of this and written a book on that. That's quite possible rather. But he has, I will say, no understanding of what this is all about. Oh my God, low battery. 1 second, I'll just connect my laptop to the battery.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
1 second. Otherwise, it will just shut off. Sorry, I'm back. So this is what we have to understand, that totality, what is this all about? And whenever we talk of dharma, 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 if we just observe what is the dharma, and at an individual level also, the dharmas are different. There are general dharmas we have talked about, then specific dharmas. Even for a one person, there will be different dharmas for different kinds of roles that he plays. A pati dharma, a patni dharma, a putra dharma, a pitru dharma. You have certain, prescribed ways of conducting yourself in different situations. All these things are spelled out in so many itihasas, puranas, everywhere these are spelled out. What is our job? Read them, understand them, and follow them.
Absolutely.
What we have failed to do.
Slightly modify my question.
Yeah.
Free will is there, which is given. I'm again coming to that. It is there for everybody. It is only 1% of a million out of a million who decides to come out of it and become something.
Correct.
Does the concept of drishtam and adrishtam also help in it? Something is there,
See,
which has prompted me to take a path by which I come out. I reform myself. I strive to better. There is some
yes,
motive,
that is your response. See, adrishtam is presenting you with a situation. You are responding to that situation using your free will. Now, you are absolutely right that out of maybe thousands of people, maybe one or two will use that free will in such a way that he wants to come out of it. Fine. But then it is not that others do not know that they can do it. They just don't do it. That's all. They don't use the free will. They have got the necessary ammunition with them, but they are not using it. Let me ask you one question. And this is a very practical question on which keep on reflecting. Every one of us, after we have put in about say 20, 30 years of service, when we have reached 50 years of age, we will know that maybe within the next decade or so, I am going to retire. Everybody knows. Do we ever plan for what we are going to do after retirement? How many people do it? You tell me this. Everybody can plan. You have earned enough money in your life. Then suddenly what happens? One fine day you are garlanded and farewell party sent home. You don't know what to do. Next day onwards. And I'm telling you, majority of the people are like this. It's not that a minority. Majority people don't know what to do. They just sit before the TV and keep on watching. They will read the newspaper as if the newspaper is going to give them some very great thing. They just kill time. They do everything to kill time. They will sleep, they will eat. Worst case, some people may join some club, and then they will go and sit in the gymkhana, play cards with the people, drink. So many people do this. 99% do. Hardly 1% will think when he has reached 50 years, okay, 10 years time, I'm going to retire. This income which I'm getting, I'm not going to get. So what should I do in these 10 years to make sure that my present lifestyle and the lifestyle which my family enjoys, it doesn't get compromised after my retirement? Is it not one important thing? Otherwise, I have seen so many people, secretaries, undersecretaries, very senior government official living in palatial 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom government quarters. The day they retire, they will retire to a 2-bedroom small house in some Nungambakam or some place in Chennai. So people, as you say, nobody thinks about all these things. They don't plan their own life. What to talk of reacting to these kind of situations of karmas and all that. And this is again, everybody is aware of it, that they are going to retire one day. But I've seen they just while away that and they don't know what to do. And because of that, they don't have a purposeful activity post-retirement. Many of them get many diseases also. Because their lifestyle is totally gone. Earlier, this fellow was very busy with the office and all. Now, idle mind, devil's workshop. He doesn't know what to do. And then sitting at home to Gaya, finished. I mean, his wife will keep on taunting him. I'm talking about a man. So all these things are there. I mean, these are the realities. But from our point of view, we need not worry. If we are on the right track, we should worry about ourselves. That's all. If possible, if somebody comes and asks us, seeks our advice, we can give them advice. But just because we know all these things, we should not go and impose upon ourselves or other people. They will actually stop taking your calls, and they will also avoid you when they the chance to see you somewhere in the market. If you are going this side, they will actually take a detour and go elsewhere. This fellow, if he comes, he will start giving Upadesha. Because he has done some Vedanta business and all that. I don't know what it is. The moment he sees me, he will give me big lecture, how I should do things in my life and all that. This fellow doesn't have any other work, so he has gone to Vedanta. He does not understand anything of Vedanta. So he will make all these comments. So whenever you are giving any advice or Upadesha also, give it only when you are asked. As Arjuna said, Shishyasteham Shadimam Mam Prapannam. That fellow should willingly take you as your guru for his guidance, for the guidance. Then you tell him. And this applies to children also. After they have grown up at a certain age, many of us, we do the same mistake. Children, they have grown up, they are on their own. Then we keep on dictating what they should do, what they should not do. What will happen? One fine day, they will stop talking to us. They will try to avoid. Whenever we call, they won't pick up the phone. Especially if they are in abroad, then no problem at all. They can easily say, my phone was switched off, I was in a meeting. All those things, and you keep on calling them rather. So we have to be very aware and conscious of all these things, and all these behavior patterns all put together, you become a Jnani. Jnani is not something that suddenly one light glows one fine day when you are having lunch or dinner. Then, like Buddha sitting under a tree, nirvana and all that. That business and all is good for Buddha's story. It doesn't happen like that. Small brick by brick, we have to build this. And once you have reached at a good level, automatically your Chitta Shuddhi keeps on taking place. And when Chitta Shuddhi is becoming more and more, all this Jnanam automatically will go and sit in there, get absorbed. You don't need to do any effort at all. It will automatically get absorbed. Like the sponge absorbs water. So that is what is the whole thing about. Bhagavad Gita is nothing but a manual for this. Unfortunately, we read Bhagavad Gita after we have tested the product and spoiled the product. And then we see the manual. I said, oh, we have done everything wrong. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, according to me, should be read by people who are leaving school. You don't know, maybe in your school, I don't know Sitaram, but when I passed out, from Mandirmar school in Delhi, 11th standard, we were all 11th standard, higher secondary people, no? In the farewell party, Principal Raja Ram, he gave all of us a small book, Bhagavad Gita book. That was the farewell gift from the school to all the students. I took it home and showed it to my mother very, very proudly. You see, my school has given me Bhagavad Gita book. My mother took it and she hid it away from me. What? Small children reading Bhagavad Gita? You will become a sannyasi or what? She never showed me that Bhagavad Gita in my entire life. I lived with my parents. Then finally, one day when I was cleaning up and all that, I found that book. That is there. That, of course, the pages were, the cover and all was torn. The book, I'm still having it with me. So what I'm saying is, if I had read Bhagavad Gita at that time, I would have probably, led a different kind of life. But at least my prarabdha presented me with an opportunity at some stage that I could actually, pick up the broken threads and then continue. So that's what I'm thankful to Ishvara for that. But this is what we do, Bhagavad Gita is a full manual about how you should live, what should be your attitude, what should be your approach towards everything in your life and all that. Relations, mamakara, ahankara, everything Krishna deals very beautifully in that. If we read that in the beginning, and that's why, today in Europe and all that, they are learning Sanskrit and they are also teaching Bhagavad Gita to young students.
Yes, they are.
They are doing that. They have understood what we have not understood. They have understood the value of this guidance. How you can still be successful. You can get all material wealth by following what is there stated in the Bhagavad Gita. So this is there. So many things are there. Anyhow, any more question?
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
Okay. Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om. Thank you very much.
Hari Om.